All right, hello everybody. So we're going to talk about discipline today, and I made this because I personally don't like people telling me, I should just do something because it's the right thing to do or it's what I should do. That's on the base of rightness or morality, which is very wishy-washy these days to say or explain without seeing things as a whole. So my concern lies in what creates life or what creates death, and choosing, the path of life because it's a lot more um, interesting and it hurts less. So that's what I want for you. So the best way to work with this video today is I'm going to have a lot of dialogue here in the beginning. So you could probably put this on if you want to take a walk or listen to this, or you could actually just sit with it and really be with it. That probably would be the best way. But if you are, busy, then you can drive and listen to this until the end, in which I'll have something that you can do to actually take action for this. So we're going to talk about discipline today. Okay, discipline. So a holistic way to look at discipline. So I'll start with a Confucius quote. So, what is wisdom? Being able to see the beginning and the end. A lot of advice now through Instagram, TikTok, or however you get your entertainment is pretty much do this, and then you just kind of do that for a little while, and then it falls off the bandwagon. So I want you to actually be able to reduce your pain, mental pain, reduce your physical pain, or reduce whatever symptom, whatever thing is not working, in which you can build something that does work. I actually want that for you. And we're going to look at it in a realistic way and how to create a path for that. But if we don't know anything about the territory, if we go hiking, it's going to behoove us to understand a little bit about the path so we can know what to hack if we are to, say, hike to a mountain. We should know a little bit about the mountain that we're going to hike. So I have these images here, and we're going to see the beginning and the end. We need to see things as cycles. And later on, we might talk more about these things, but we have the seasons, we have winter, spring, summer, and fall, and this just cycles. Sometimes we have our ups, we have our downs, they cycle. But ultimately, we are still growing and developing for a good while in what we're trying to create. So, if we're going to accomplish anything, getting out of pain, mental pain, physical pain, relationship pain, financial pain, you know, maybe our thoughts are always racing and we don't want to be with ourselves. A lot of people that I work with, they don't want to be in here. They want to be everywhere else. Physical pain, same thing. They don't want to be in here, so they just kind of keep doing things and um, keep hurting in that knee or that back without taking time to start to feel things because it's kind of scary. It's scary to kind of sit and look at rough things. And put financial pain up here as well because I feel like that's also something that people struggle with. It's worrying about, am I going to be able to make uh, this payment, this rent, these kind of looming things that kind of can consume us are actually great jumping starts, jump boards to get us to actually move. So to actually get out of these things, we have to make decisions. And decisions are simple. We choose yes or no. It's either this or that. That's it. It's either I'm holding this cup or I'm not holding this cup. Everything in between is just noise, or it's just on a spectrum from more yes or less yes to more no to less no. That's how things are. If these series of yeses, it is these series of yeses and nos that will determine growth. So exclude all the extra details and everything comes down to growth. What you want is like a tree. We are starting with a seed and its destination is the sky. So we're starting with what that thing is that we want, and the destination is we have a point, but we're going to make this real by kind of looking at like a plant and understanding the laws of growth. So we are starting with your goal of having less physical pain. So that's like strengthening our physical health tree, something that has to grow. Have less mental, emotional, spiritual pain. We're strengthening that, say, to make it shortly, that spiritual health or that mental health tree, because it's something we have to grow. Have less financial pain. We're strengthening financial health tree. It's the financial tree. So think of these things as trees, things that we're growing. No matter the path, it still requires the same essence to keep it alive. Now, since we are growing something, it will follow the rules of growth. Those yeses and nos we all talked about, or talked about earlier, think of them like day is yes and night is no. If we were growing a strong tree, we can't have too much night, too much no's, or we would never grow. So we say no to everything, we're not really going to grow. If we are growing a strong tree, we can't have too much day or yeses, or we would burn up or say we're overworking. It is the cycle of both that steadily grow the plant to rise up and become thick and strong. Strong in such a way that it supports itself and weather its environment and can support others. So am I physically strong enough to support myself? Strong enough to to endure my environment? And then strong enough to support others. Same thing with the mental. Am I strong enough mentally to be able to stand myself, work with myself, to stand the environment, and then to help support others? And if not, it's probably pain. It's not able to support itself. So, by the logic presented, a little of both balance supports progress. So, the growth of life. Too much imbalance supports the opposite. So, it reverses the reverse of growth, death. So, when we're balanced, we're growing the thing. When we're imbalanced, the pieces of the thing are not growing as much as we'd like it to. Or if we could become extremely imbalanced, the thing is dying quicker. This is where we can begin to see the whole picture. So whatever situation we are in, if we lean into it too much, it will flip. This is why I showed kind of the I Ching stuff at the beginning. When they talk about good fortune or bad fortune in making decisions. If you have a really good situation, say you're really rich and you have everything you could ever want, you can start to push even more into that. Maybe do drugs, maybe buy things you shouldn't or do things you shouldn't. And then that can immediately flip. You can lose all your riches. Whereas on the opposite side of the coin, we can be in a really rough situation and have nothing and toil and toil. And from that depth, we can grow that strong spirit can flip us around, which I don't want to be in this situation anymore. And then massive growth can come of that. So even when we're in good situations, it can still flip. And even when we are in bad situations, it can still flip. So understanding our place in this, it could flip yes, or it could flip no, it could flip good, it could flip bad, can give us an idea of how we walk our path. If things are good, let's steadily let them be good. If things are bad, it's okay because it can flip. Or if things are high energy or low energy. So whatever situation we're in, if we lean into it too much, it'll flip. Our yes will become no. Our no will become yes. Our good situation can become a bad one. Our bad situation can become a good one. Life is the constant cycling at different cadences of the essence of this idea. So sometimes it's high energy and then low energy, or sometimes it's high energy for a long time, low energy for a long time. And this switches back and forth in these times. To bring it back to what we can see, the tree seedling will grow through day and night, a short cycling of days, with an underlying long cycling of day and night. It's long cycling of seasons. So you have the day and night that fosters the little growth of the seed, and then over a long period of time, you have this rising increase in growth. And then eventually the opposite, right? But when it's longer, going up. So as long as the tree gets nourishment, it will grow and become mature. The same is with you and your goal. And perhaps let's alter the word to intention. Because a tree does not really hit a goal. If it lives, it continues to grow and evolve. So once you hit a point, you don't just die immediately, right? You're still alive. You're still a renewing thing. So we could either keep picking different goalposts, or we can have a sort of intention in what we're trying to be. So perhaps less of a point A to point B, but what is the process in which I want to be existing in? How do I want to be being? The same as with your intention. If you want to keep it alive, there will be a short cycling of yeses and nos to choose. And there will be an underlying long cycle of yeses and nos. And this accumulation of short and long cycles produce the intensity of the realness, intangibility, and idea. So the thing existing, which we can touch, and the idea of that thing. All that being said, for our recap, if you do too much and the situation flips. So too much good, too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing, right? So too much in the situation flips. Progress comes with a progression of short yeses and nos, with a commitment of long yeses and nos. And 3, our commitment to discipline of yeses, of these yeses and nos, makes our intentions more real or less real over time. So what can we do to start? So here, if you were listening, here's the point where we can start to actually take action and create something for ourselves so that we can have a path from where we are to what we want to be. And to think of that like a plant and something we can see, like a seed to a tree. We're planting something very small right now, and then what do we want that thing to be? And then what's the path from A to B? And then as that thing's alive, then it'll be more than just from A to B. It'll be a living thing within us. So we can fill this out here. So we have our starting point, and I'll show you the little template here down below. We have our starting point, list what are we being? Where are we? So that's like starting point A. Starting point B at the end would be where do we want to be, and who do we want to be? And then the middle, the way between the 2 points, list the yeses and the nos to support what we are growing. So we have these short yeses and these long yeses, and these short nos and these long nos. So those short nos might be, if it was financially, maybe I don't get Starbucks every single day. If anybody's still doing that. Or maybe I don't eat ice cream every single day. Or maybe when somebody says something that ticks me off a little bit, I let it go quicker. So that might be a short no. I'm not going to engage with this thing. Versus like a long no, which would be like, I'm not the kind of person, I'm choosing to not be the kind of being that engages in cigarettes. That would be like a long term, like a way of being. And say, or maybe our short yeses, yes, I'm going to actually get up and at a certain time every day. Or short yeses, I'm going to walk every day. Versus long yeses should be like a way of being. I'm not the kind of I I am the kind of person that commits to healthy eating or commits to budgeting or commits to being honest with people. And I kind of filled out that middle, helped with that middle part. I'll help with that starting point too. So, where do we want to be? Who do we want to be? So maybe right now my back hurts, and just acknowledging that we need to know where we are before we start. So my back hurts, I don't know why. And who are we being right now? Maybe I'm being scared. Because I don't know what this means for the long term of myself. Maybe I'm being impatient. Maybe I'm being hopeless. There's these very real things that exist when we start to try things and things don't maybe work the first time. So now we know where we are. That's a starting point. And then we have our intention. So where do we want to be? Well, I want to have a strong back. I want to trust my body so I can pick up my kids. Or I want to have a strong financial situation. I want to have a recurring amount of money that keeps me safe from financial hits. And then who do we want to be being in our intention? So maybe I want to be being confident. I want to be being at peace in my head, being peaceful. Maybe with my relationships, I want to be trusting. So we fill that out. If you fill that out, we should have a good, nice starting path from the starting point to our starting point, our intention, and then the way in between. And then that will foster the growth and foster the roots and the seed to grow into that tree of the thing that we're trying to create within ourselves. So, congratulations. Now you should have an extremely workable understanding of discipline. How every decision we make in our life is going to cost us one way or another. It's going to benefit us or it's going to not benefit us in the long term as we go through these ups and downs, as we go through these short cycles and these long cycles. So, one, an extremely workable understanding of discipline. Two, a holistic way to understand the results of your action in the world, consequences. And three, a plan on how to get where you want to be and how to be who you want to be. So I sincerely hope this has been of benefit to you. Thank you for doing the work and listening, having an open mind, and taking action and thinking and writing this out. So remember, whatever else that you have now has been the product of this same process. What you did not want has grown because it has been cultivated. I'll say that one more time so it kind of sinks. What you did not want has grown because it has been cultivated. So cesspools and mold and flowers and trees all are fostered by a consistency of a sort. So whatever you've done or the environment that it's been in has fostered the blooming of what you have now. And it's just a matter of what shifting, what are we trying to grow now? What are we trying to kill off and what are we trying to grow now? So you only have one life. Do you want it to look like a cesspool or a garden? And because I care, I'll leave you with that. So again, I'm Jacob Wilkinson, and thank you for your time.